Hey Algebra 1. Today we're going to be doing 1.9, solving and graphing two-step inequalities. We're going to review beforehand about these rules for graphing. On the left, I put the different inequality signs and what they represent. So less than, greater than, less than or equal to if it has a line underneath, and then greater than or equal to, and it has a line underneath. To start, you're going to use an open circle for the less than and the greater than signs, and so I drew an open circle to the right, and you're going to use a closed circle when it's less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, and then of course I put a closed circle. So the first section is just graphing, knowing those few tricks. So for number 1, it says x is less than 3. If it's just less than, it's going to be an open circle at 3. Okay. And then if my sign is less than, you can think of it as an arrow pointing left. So you would shade left. Okay. For number 2, it's x is greater than -1. So find -1. It's an open circle. And if it's inequality pointing that way, again, think of it as an arrow, and you are going to shade right. For number 3, it says x is greater than 7. So you find 7 because, it's greater than or equal to 7. So you're going to find 7, fill in your dot. Your arrow is still pointing, even with that line underneath, it's still pointing right. So I'm going to shade right. X is less than or equal to -5. Find -5 on your number line. It's equal to, so color it in. And your arrow is pointing left. So you're going to shade left. Hopefully that's review. The bottom portion we're going to write an inequality given a graph. So for number 5, we have an open dot at -2. So I'm still going to use the variable x. Open dot at -2. So if it's an open dot, but it's pointing left, it's going to be the less than sign with no equal to. Number 6, it's at the point 4. I'm still going to use x and then 4. The shading is going to the right. It's a closed circle, so it's going to be equal to. Let's do one more. Number 7, it's x. The point is at 0. It's being pointed to the left, so it's going to be less than. And it's a closed dot again, so it's less than or equal to. You guys can go ahead and try 8 on your own. Okay, so if we're solving inequalities and not just graphing, we must look at a couple different things. We're going to solve it like they're equations, but then if we multiply or divide by a negative, that means we have to flip our inequality sign. So that's what's going to go in here. Apologize for my handwriting. You must flip the inequality symbol when you multiply or divide by a negative number. Okay, so when you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign, and I'll show you some specific examples of that. So, looking at number 9, written 10, we're going to solve both of them and then graph them on a number line. So for number 9, set up the same way as an equation. If it's plus 2, you're going to subtract 2 on each side. Oops. Negative 4 subtract 2 is negative 6. And you still have 3x's less than. Divide by 3 because we have multiplication. And so we'll have x is less than negative 2. So I'm going to number my number line. There's negative 2. That would be negative 3. This is negative 4 because I'm writing kind of big, which means this would be 0 and this would be 1. You guys can fill it in if you'd like. Alright, it's less than, so it's going to be just an open circle. Your arrow is pointing left, so you would shade left. Number 10, same thing. We have a division and an addition problem. So start it off the same way. I'm going to subtract 2. We have x over 6 is greater than negative 3. From yesterday, we took whatever was in the denominator and we multiplied it on each side because that's the opposite of division. So now we have x is greater than negative 18. Going to place my negative 18 on my number line. Remember, negative numbers are a little bit different on the number line. The bigger negative numbers go to the left, and the negative 16 goes to the right. Let's see, it's bothering me. Alright, we have an open circle because it's just greater than. And we are going to shade right because that's where the arrow is pointing to all the numbers that are greater. Okay, go ahead and flip it over. We have lots of examples. Okay, let's see. The number 11, we're going to see a potential negative sign. So for number 11, we're going to start it off the same way. We're going to take our plus 8 and subtract it. Bring down the negative 7x. It's going to be less than or equal to 1 subtract 8 is negative 7. Okay, now I've already did it to divide. And I just divided by a negative 7 on each side. So that means I am going to flip my inequality sign, which means it's going to change direction. So instead of it being that way, now it's going to be this way and be greater than. A negative and a negative turns positive, and you get a positive 1. Sorry. It's a 1. So you're going to put 1, 2, 3, 0, negative 1. It's equal to, so it's going to be a closed dot, and you're going to shade right. Okay, let's go ahead and try 12, and then you guys will try some of these too. So for 12, we're going to first add 5 to undo the subtraction. You have x over negative 8 is less than 3. Get rid of the division by multiplying on each side. So you're going to multiply by negative 8 on the left and on the right. I just divided or multiplied by a negative, so we must flip our inequality sign to be greater than, and it's now negative 24. Negative 24 here, negative 26, negative 22. It's greater than, so it's open circle, going to all the numbers that are greater than. Alright, let's go ahead and do number 16. And then we'll do 1 or 2 at the bottom. So for 16, we're going to start it off the same. We have negative 5 over 6, subtract 1, so we're going to add 1 first. We have 15, greater than or equal to symbol, and this negative fraction. To get rid of a negative fraction next to a variable, you need to multiply by the reciprocal, so negative 6 over 5, and negative 6 over 5 here. I just multiplied by a negative, so I need to flip my inequality sign. And then with the fraction, you can cross cancel. 5 goes into itself once, goes into 15 3 times. 3 times negative, sorry, that's 3. 3 times negative 6 is a negative 18. Number your number line. It's x is less than or equal to, so it's a closed circle. And it's pointing to the numbers that are less. Okay. I'm just going to jump down to 19 and 20, and then I'd like you guys to finish the rest. So for 19, we have a positive 4. So because it's positive, I will subtract it. And I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to pick the pace. So we have negative 1 over 3. It's greater than 7. Get rid of the fraction by multiplying by its reciprocal, so negative 3 over 1. Oops. I multiplied by a negative, so you must flip to be less than, and I get negative 21. Negative 21, negative 23, negative 19. It's less than, so it's open circle. Pointing left, shade left. Okay. Last one. This is like yesterday, you need to watch out. We have 2 terms in the numerator and then 1 term in the denominator. So I get rid of that first by multiplying by negative 2 on each side. From the get-go, I just multiplied by a negative, so I'm going to turn it around. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Subtract 11. So x is greater than negative 7. Find your points on your number line. It's greater than, not equal to, just greater than. Your arrow is pointing right, so you're gonna shade right. Okay, I would like you guys to finish the ones that we did not do this evening for extra practice.